today is very special because, as you know, Christmas is coming up, and one of the big events in Felixstowe is our Christmas Day dip. Now, I'd like to let you know all about that, and I've got somebody as our guest today. So welcome to you.
Thank you.
It's lovely to have you with us, Emily.
Thank you.
Emily Sullivan, very important person. Is the Elizabeth... I'm sorry, I'm getting that wrong. St. Elizabeth's Hospice,
yes.
Isn't it?
Yes.
And which you all know, of course, because we've got a charity shop in Hamilton Road, which is very popular. I think people come from miles around to that shop. And of course they've started a new furniture shop, which I'm sure you've been in the Great Eastern Square complex. And it's a wonderful shop. I go in there myself very often. They have some wonderful bargains. It's well worth a visit if you haven't been there. But today we're going to talk a little bit about the organisation, because I don't know very much about it. So tell me something about it. What would you say is the basic function of the...
St. Elizabeth Hospice has been around 20 years.
Yes.
It is an organisation. We basically provide care for people with progressive illnesses.
Yes. Now, it's a hospice. Now, people
That's
think
right.
of a hospice as somewhere where people go to die.
That's right. And quite often that obviously is the case, but we also have people come in to just get a high level of care, and then they go home again. We've got not only our inpatient unit, but we do have daycare services as well. So we have people that have been coming to and visiting us, patients and their families, for 10 years or so.
Yes.
It's just that they are diagnosed with an illness from which they won't recover.
Yes. So in other words, you were saying to me that a terminal illness is not necessarily something you're going to die of within a few months.
Absolutely.
It could go on for 10 years.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And that's why people will come into us. Daycare services, they might come in just to meet with other people. We have groups that meet. They might come in. We've got hairdressers that volunteer for us. They might come in to have their hair done.
Good,
They'll come in for treatments. They come in for therapies. And then obviously we've got our inpatient unit as well, and that's where people come in and they will stay. But often people do go home. They either go home because they've got their medication under control, they've come in to have some of our great food and to sort of get their strength up.
Yes.
And sometimes they go home because that's where they want to be. We've got a great hospice at home team that help people in their homes.
So we've actually changed the wording now. Instead of being terminally ill, you call it progressive.
Yeah, we deal with people with progressive illnesses.
Progressive illnesses, that's right.
right.
Now, I don't think people know that how many beds you've got, which the people from Felixstowe go to.
Absolutely.
If they have got a progressive illness.
That's right. We've got 18 beds in our hospice location in Ipswich on Foxhall Road. A lot of people know where we are.
Yes.
We've also now got 4 beds at All Hallows Hospital, which is in the sort of the north of the region, and we only recently increased our services to cover Great Yarmouth and Waveney, so we've got daycare services
quite a wide
up there
area
as well. So we cover
Yes.
the kind of east of Suffolk and up into Waveney area as well.
Yes.
And recently we've opened up shops in Great Yarmouth and Lowestoft as well, and Hellsworth.
Yes.
So we're spreading up.
You're spreading it.
We
But this
are.
sounds horribly expensive, so many beds and what's that. What are your perhaps I shouldn't ask you, what are your total running costs in a year?
Well, we're quite open about our running costs because that's what we have to raise the money to
I
do.
see, yes.
We cost 8.7 million a year.
8.7 million.
To keep running, and 75% of that we have to raise.
You have to raise.
We do that through events. A lot of people are very kind, and they leave money to us in wills.
Yes.
Trusts, estates, that type of thing. We have the lottery that a lot of people take part in, which is quite a good revenue stream
Yes.
for us. And obviously retail as well. We've got shops all over the county.
Yes.
As you've just spoken about, 2 of them being in Felixstowe.
Yes.
So we raise money in lots of ways.
Yeah.
Events is a very big part of it for us.
It is. And that's what is your main function?
I
your
work in the
organisation?
fundraising team, and I'm an events fundraiser.
An events fundraiser.
So my next big event is in less than 2 weeks' time now, and it's the Christmas Day Dip.
Well, now tell us about this Christmas Day Dip. Now, this is one of the big features of Felixstowe.
It is.
We cover it every year.
It
We see
is.
the people going in and shivering.
That's right.
Now, how many years has this been going on?
This is the 9th year.
9th year,
It
yes.
was something started by a local man who
Yes.
lost his father at the hospice.
Oh dear,
And
yeah.
he started it with some friends and family, and they just ran into the sea on Christmas Day, and it has just grown and grown and grown. Last year we had 350 people do it.
350 people.
This year I'm hoping for 400, and my numbers we're higher than last year on numbers
Really?
today.
So they can either sign up in advance or just
That's
sign up
right,
on the day.
sign up on the day.
Now I understand you've already got some signed up.
We've got over 250 already signed
250,
up.
got ready for that shivery feeling of going into the sea.
It's fine.
It's fine. Do you go in yourself?
I haven't been in myself, and obviously, as I'm organising the event, I need to be on hand
What a shame.
and not
Yes,
in the
you
sea.
can't go in. No.
Shame.
What a shame.
But it's amazing. It's a very emotional event. It's a lovely event because so many people do it in memory of other people.
Oh, I see. Yes.
Of their loved ones, of their friends, their families. When you sign up, you can opt to have a T-shirt, which we encourage people to customise. So people will have their T-shirts on with pictures of their loved ones.
Yes.
It's,
so it's better to sign up in advance, really.
it's better for us because it just means less of a rush on the day.
Yes.
We do have registration desks for pre-registered people and people signing up on the day. So the cost is exactly the same.
What facilities are there for people to change?
The toilets, which are just along from the location, will be open.
Now, first of all, where is the location? Everybody knows it, I'm sure. But
It's on the seafront opposite Manning's and the water fountain.
Oh, I see.
You won't miss it.
It's where the market is.
Yeah, it's opposite there.
Opposite where the
That's
market
right.
is.
So there's a
And there are some toilets there.
There are
And
some
there's
toilets.
Car parking.
There's plenty of car parking because you've got
that's right.
the market site, but also all of the seafront, which isn't terribly busy on Christmas morning.
Because Christmas morning is which day this week?
It's a Tuesday, so
Tuesday.
it's less than 2 weeks from today.
It's not long, is it?
not long.
The years slipped by. But we hope it... Well, perhaps it'd be very nice if it's like as it is today with severe frost.
That's right. I came down to the seafront yesterday morning, so exactly 2 weeks before the event, to the exact time, just to check the sea levels and to meet with the Coast Guard, who will all be on hand on the day. So the sea level was quite high, but it was a little bit rough yesterday, but I'm sure it'll be absolutely fine.
Yes. And are they allowed to wear wetsuits?
They are allowed to wear wetsuits.
So they're right. If you don't like to get yourself really cold, wear a wetsuit. But
you can wear anything you like. We've had people dressed as Christmas trees, turkeys.
Really?
We had somebody wanting to wear a mankini.
What is a mankini?
If anyone's seen the film Borat, they would be aware of what a mankini is.
I haven't a clue.
All we ask is that people wear something.
What is a mankini? I'm sorry to. Sounds interesting.
It's worn by men, and it covers their private parts, but it also kind of comes up over the shoulders.
Oh, I see. So it doesn't matter what they wear.
It doesn't matter. We really do encourage people to dress up.
Yes.
The only thing I would say, that would be my advice to people doing it, is don't wear too much going into the sea because you've got to take it all off again when it's wet.
Of course, that's a good point, isn't it?
A lot of people, what they now do, and I've noticed the last couple of years I've been there, is actually they'll wear a swimming costume or something and have a dressing gown and just take it off as they run in, because they can get it straight back on again afterwards.
That's sensible, isn't it? Yes.
But there are, like I say, the toilets will be open for people.
And how many have you got signed up already?
250.
Well, that's a tremendous crowd. And you're expecting how many in all?
We hope for over 400.
I see.
Last year we had over 80 people who signed up on the day. So
gosh, that's very good. Now, is there any cost involved for people?
It's £5 to register, or £10 if you want a T-shirt.
Oh, I see.
And the T-shirt just says, "I did it." Christmas Day did. I did it. And people are very proud to wear that afterwards.
I think, and they're available on the day for people who register. They're only sold to people who actually register and go in the sea.
We will sell them off if we have any left.
I see.
To anyone else, but really, we do encourage people to sign up in advance, because then we can guarantee that we'll have enough T-shirts, because we only obviously order a limited amount.
I see, yes. So the actual dip starts at 10 o'clock.
Starts at 10 o'clock. Registration opens at 8:30.
8:30.
Most people will get there quite early because they want to get changed, etc.
Yes.
If they leave it really beyond 9:30, then they might miss the start of it. And the start of it is a really exciting
It's fun,
thing,
isn't it?
because
Yes.
we have the loud hailer go off.
Oh, lovely, yes.
And obviously we know that Felixstowe TV are covering
Oh,
it,
we're covering
and,
it, yeah,
and other
we
press
do,
will be
yeah.
there. So
Yes.
it's a really
a big
really
event,
great
absolutely.
event.
So if people come and register from 8:30 onwards,
Yes.
I presume that Manning's there will have their coffee and tea and refreshments.
The Sands diner, which is sort of next to Manning's,
Oh, yes.
will be open.
It
So
will.
participants also, we've got some non-alcoholic mulled punch that we will have
Have you?
for people that are doing the dip.
Oh,
so,
is there any charge for that?
there's
them?
not. That's part of the registration
Is it?
fee.
Also, so for their register, they've got £5 registration or £10. That includes the registration fee
Yes.
if they buy the.
If they want a T-shirt.
If they want a T-shirt,
That's
it's
right.
£10.
That's
If they
right.
just register, it's £5.
£5, yeah.
There's not £10 extra on
No,
the
no, no.
registration. The £10 covers the registration
That's
fee.
right, and they get the T-shirt, and they get their mulled warm
And
wine.
mulled wine. Oh, there you are.
But we
Can't
do.
be bad, can it?
But we do encourage people, if they want to bring a flask of hot drink or something.
Oh, I see. Yes, so that's a very
That's
sensible.
fine. I mean, spectator numbers are absolutely immense.
I
For
would
every
be,
person
yes.
doing the dip,
Yeah.
they tend to bring 2 or 3 people with them. So,
Do they?
you know,
Yeah.
over last year, I would imagine we had over 1,000 people
Did you
there
really? Yes,
in all.
it's
So
tremendous,
it was
yeah.
brilliant. We have Christmas music playing, and
Wonderful, yes.
it's very festive.
Well,
it's a
I-
lovely way to start Christmas Day.
Yes. Well, I hope we're going to have sort of 1 or 2 of the past years up and running so
Definitely.
people can see it before they come along
That's
this
right.
Christmas. But it's a wonderful effort. And tell me, you event organised. What other events have you got on the go at the moment?
We've actually got an event here in Felixstowe tomorrow, which is part of our Light of a Life series. We do a series just in December of services with carols and readings and
Oh, that's
sort of
lovely.
reflective moments. It's a time for people to remember somebody
Yes.
at Christmas that they might
And this
have
is
lost.
tomorrow, Saturday.
It's tomorrow, Thursday.
I'm sorry, Thursday. I'm getting my week
It's
gone.
at 6:30 p.m.
Yes.
at Great Eastern Square.
Yes, oh yes.
We've got the Salvation Army Band who are going to be
What
playing.
time is this going
6:30.
to be? 6:30, yes.
Salvation Army Band, and there'll be a Christmas tree, and people can hang a tag of sort of remembrance.
Oh,
It's
isn't that
for
nice?
anybody to attend.
Yes.
It's free of charge,
Yes.
and it's not necessarily people that have been touched by St Elizabeth Hospice. It can be just anyone who wants to just come along and remember a loved one at
And
Christmas.
so they can bring a little tag
They
up,
can
which
bring a
they
little
can put on
tag,
the
and they
Christmas
can write
tree.
something, put it on the Christmas
Oh, isn't
tree.
that a lovely idea?
Sing some Christmas carols.
Yes.
They're lovely services.
And it's
so.
starting at 6:30.
6:30.
And how long will it go on?
It's between half an hour and an hour,
Oh, I see.
depending on
So-
how many people are there.
Yes, yes, isn't that lovely?
They're lovely. They're
Yes.
very lovely
And of course the
services.
Salvation Army Band is so good, and
Yes.
the carols will be lovely.
Yes.
So it's really a big start for Christmas tomorrow.
It is.
So
it is. It's countdown.
countdown time.
Countdown to Christmas.
Absolutely. And tell me, is that organised by Felixstowe Group, or is it by the charity shops? Or
We
who
do have.
organised that?
People in Felixstowe might be aware. We do have what we call our Felixstowe Friends Group,
Oh, yes.
and they are just members of the community who come together every few months, and they'll organise events on our behalf. They'll organise street collections. They do a
Yes.
fantastic quiz night.
Oh, I
They've done
see.
a big fashion show down here earlier this year and raise a lot of money for us. Hopefully they'll be in attendance tomorrow, but the Light Up a Life service is actually organised by part of the fundraising team at the hospice.
So it's called Light Up a Life.
Light Up a Life, and we've had 2 so far. We had a Light Up a Life event in Framlingham a couple of weeks ago,
Yes.
one in Stowmarket last
Yes.
weekend, and then
Did
we've got
you?
one in Ipswich this weekend.
Gosh, you do cover the ground.
Yeah.
So it's great fun. Well, there you are, 6:30 tomorrow, Thursday. Do go and take a little tag along and write something nice about one of your loved ones that's passed on and hang it on the Christmas tree. So that is the light that you will be lighting up.
Yes.
Light that you will be lighting
Exactly.
up. That's good, isn't it?
Exactly.
Well, that's very good. But I think there's a marvellous job of work. Is that... I mean, you've got a lot of volunteers, presumably because the charity shop has got volunteers. I think you have a number of paid staff. all your paid staff, are they medical or are they, what is the situation?
A real
with
mixture.
them?
We've got a fantastic catering team because our catering services at the hospice are absolutely amazing. We all start off work, they're very slim and end up piling on pounds because their food is so brilliant.
Yes.
And obviously they cater for all of our patients. Medical team are fantastic, all trained in kind of palliative care, and then you've got the fundraising team as well, and we're there to bring in the money so that it actually happens.
Well, it's big, isn't it? Yes.
But our volunteers, our events wouldn't happen without them, the hospice wouldn't run without them. We have volunteers that work in the kitchens, we have volunteers that volunteer gardeners, therapists,
So if, in other
ward
words,
clerks,
if somebody
fundraisers.
needs help with their garden, you will find somebody to
We
help
will.
them
We've
with
got
it.
people. We've got volunteer drivers. So
Have
our
you?
daycare patients come to us, and they're
Yes.
picked up by people who are volunteers.
Gosh.
Our reception area at the hospice in Ipswich is manned by volunteers. We don't have any
That's
paid
it.
staff that
That's
work
very
on
good.
there.
So if anybody's got time to
Absolutely.
do some voluntary work,
That's right. And if people want to come down on Christmas Day and actually don't want to do the dip,
Yes.
but want to help us out, then they just need to let us know.
oh, that's very
I've
good,
got
isn't it?
10 or so volunteers already, and can
Right.
always do with more. So.
Well, this is right. So no, I think you're doing a wonderful job there, Emily. It's and have you been involved with it long yourself?
I've been at the hospice 3.5 years.
Oh, well, so you're well established.
So I've organised a few events in my time.
I'm sure. Have you done the Christmas dip before?
I haven't done the dip before. I've been there the last 2 years as a volunteer.
Yes.
And my colleagues have organised it, but this year it was given to me as my responsibility.
see.
So it's an event I'm familiar with,
Yes.
but I've not dipped.
I see.
We do have a New Year's Day dip also, which is up at Galston.
Oh, really?
Up near Lowestoft. So
I see. So
that's
if anybody
another-
wants to run up,
Yeah,
they can get all the
absolutely.
details on.
Yeah, they can do Christmas Day as a precursor, and then they
go
go
up
and do New
there.
Year's Day. Yeah,
Put two
Yeah.
sweatsuits on.
Absolutely.
You're so cold.
absolutely. We had a guy last year in a wetsuit on a surfboard who stayed in all, because people, with the best will in the world, think they can dip their toe in, but you tend to go all in.
You go all in. Well, you
but
can't
people
face
stay
it.
in. People stay in and swim. So
Do they really?
they do.
Gosh, it
Some
must
people,
get right.
most people do come straight back out again.
I'm sure they
But
do.
we do have a number of people
Yeah.
that will stay and swim.
Yes. How long does the event, if somebody's going down to watch it, how long does it take? I mean, so they should get there about 9:30.
My advice would be there to get there at sort of 9:30, 9:45, because we have so many spectators on the
yeah.
promenade
Yes,
itself.
yes.
If they want to get a view, then the earlier the better, really.
Yes.
And it's all over within minutes, because it's just they
In
go
and out.
in and they come back out again.
Yes. Oh, that's great fun. Well, I'm sure.
But it's brilliant. You're certainly deserving of Christmas lunch
Yes.
after that.
And is there? Do people make donations on the day? You're not just, or are you just relying on the £5 and £10?
No, the
registration?
£5 or £10 just covers the cost of us putting on the event. We
Yeah.
ask people to raise sponsorship.
Oh, I see. So the people who are going in swimming
people that
have
go
got their
in,
own sponsorship.
They do.
list.
When they
I
register,
see.
they get sent a link to set up an online sponsor
Oh, that's
page,
good, isn't
or
it?
we'll send them a sponsor form.
Yes.
And a lot of people get sponsorship for this event.
Yes.
We also will be collecting on the day, so we'll have volunteers with
So there'll be
collection buckets.
collection buckets going around.
So people
yes.
can put in their spare change
Yes,
there. So
yes.
every penny helps
Well, of
towards
course
that
it does,
£8.7
because
million.
you're doing such wonderful work. I mean, it really is, a fantastic work. With people who've got these progressive illnesses,
That's right.
they do need help. It could happen to any one of us, and if anything, an organisation like yours, where they can actually get help in the period up to 10 years beforehand.
That's right.
It's a wonderful service.
And it's not just the patients that we help their families as well. We've
Do you
got the
really?
most fantastic bereavement counsellors
Oh, do you?
that
What-
deal
tell
with.
me
We've
a
got
bit about that.
music therapists, we've got art therapists, we've
Yes.
got counsellors that will talk to children of families that are
Yeah.
being affected by our service or using our services. Friends, family. We don't just help the patient themselves. We help their support network as well.
Yes, well, it's a tremendous job, and you don't realise, you think of a hospice just as a place where people go quietly to die, but when you find that the organisation, St Elizabeth's Hospice, isn't just that, it's sort of covering 10 years before they die, and it's not only they themselves, but their families and their surroundings, and and afterwards and
that's right. We do. We help
it's...
people afterwards as well.
Yes.
We have some lovely things that happen at the hospice. We have people that get married.
Really?
They're very, very poorly, and we've got a lovely chaplain, and she marries people.
Really?
It's fantastic. We work with lots of different agencies. We work with Macmillan and Marie Curie, and
yes. What did they do in association with yourself?
Well, the Macmillan sort of palliative team are actually now part of the hospice team, so we've kind of joined forces, so that there's it could possibly be confusing, I suppose, for people. But most of our patients come to us. They're referred to us by GPs or by the hospital.
Oh, I see.
You can self-refer, but you tend to, if you're that poorly, you tend to be kind of under the care of somebody already. So
I see. Yes. So basically, the main contact really is through your GP then. So if somebody feels that they could benefit by some of the services we've talked about today, they get in touch with their GP, mention St Elizabeth's Hospice, and they will refer it through.
Yes.
That's very good. And if anybody wants to volunteer, what do they do? How do they go?
They need to contact the fundraising office on 01473 723 600, or they can email fundraising@St Elizabeth Hospice.
Yes, well, we'll try and put that number up. Can you repeat the telephone number in case somebody's got a pen ready?
01473
01473 is the Ipswich.
That's right, Ipswich code 723
600.
600.
That's a nice easy number, 723 600. So
and
if they want to volunteer,
come straight through the fundraising team and just say that they'd like to volunteer for an event, or whether they want to volunteer.
So they can volunteer just for one
hospice.
specific event?
We will happily take volunteers as one-offs. We have people that just work on events with us.
Isn't that good? So if somebody wanted to help over that Christmas dinner, they just give you a ring.
Yep.
And
ask for me, Emily Sullivan,
that's great.
or if I'm not there, some member of the team will take details. But I'm after all the help I can get.
Yes, well, I'm sure you'll get a lot of help for that, because it's such a popular event in Felixstowe. But of course, your background is in this area. You went to school, I think, in the area.
I did. Although I live in Ipswich now, I actually spent my younger years in Trimley and went to Trimley St Mary Primary.
Oh, well, there.
So I'm quite familiar with this area.
Yes, well, so generally I think you're doing a marvellous job of work.
Thank you.
Well, it's tremendous, and I think if you can earn a living and do good at the same time, this is so wonderful. But tell me, you've got a lot of events booked for next year.
We have.
What are one or two of your highlights for next year?
The next event I'll be working on is a Walk of Thoughts, which is a walk in early March. Walk of Thoughts it's called, and it's a 6-mile walk around the Shotley Peninsula, starting at Wolverston Hall, which is Ipswich High School for Girls.
Oh yes.
In March, and that is a walk kind of where you can kind of do it in memory of somebody. Last year it was in Felixstowe. Absolutely tipped it down with rain. We were very, very unfortunate with the weather, but it didn't stop a lot of people coming out.
How many did you have on that in Felixstowe?
We had over 100 people do that last year. So we've changed the location just to make it a bit more interesting.
Yes.
We've then got out.
So this is in.
It's at Wolverston Hall. It starts at Wolverston Hall.
And that's the Ipswich Girls.
Ipswich Girls School. Ipswich High School for Girls.
Lovely
beautiful
place,
location.
6-mile
walk, Shotley Peninsula.
Wonderful,
You'll be able to see Felixstowe docks.
Well, that'd be well worth doing. Yes.
We've then got.
When is that in March?
That's on the 3rd of March. Sunday the 3rd of March.
Yes. Well, we'll hopefully do something on that. Yes.
We've also got the most fantastic event called Great Escape.
Great Escape.
That is happening in April, and it's an event we've been running for several years now, and we have a start location where we ask people to get to. We then blindfold them in teams of 4, put them on coaches, and drop them in a mystery location, and they have to make their way back.
So they take the blindfold off when they get to the
coach, when they get off the coach, and make their way back to us. By any means they can. Yes. However,
have they got money?
They have no money.
No money. Yes.
No belongings with them.
Oh,
they have no phones other than a phone that we give them that will only dial emergency services.
Oh, I see,
it's got no credits. They can't phone anybody and ask for it.
I see. Yes.
They have a compass.
Yes.
and we give them some food and some water, but they have to just make their way back however they can.
On an average, how many miles away are they?
Last year they were over 30 miles away from...
They had to travel 30 miles?
Last year we dropped them, earlier this year, our start location was Shotley.
Yes.
A brilliant pub down there who helped us out.
Yes.
And we dropped them at Shingle Street. And they had to...
Where is Shingle Street?
Shingle Street is near Dunwich.
Gosh, that's a long way.
So they actually had two. If you looked on the map,
yes.
the direct route would have taken you over the River Deben and the River Orwell.
Yes.
And we track them on the phones that we give them. They have a GPS device.
Oh, I see. Yes.
We are able to track them. So we have a big screen,
yes.
and we're tracking them wherever they're going.
That's fantastic.
And we saw groups getting boats over to Harwich.
Gosh.
Coming back over to Shotley, then going up to Felixstowe, and they were zigzagging all over the place. Some teams we've had who have just hitch lifts. They do it as a team.
In the team?
4.
4. So it's quite a thing. If they want to hitchhike, it's difficult to find somebody who'll give 4 people a day.
They get time deducted if they pick up clues on the way back. It's too easy for them just to hitch a lift straight back.
Yes,
too easy.
Yes. So you've got to pick up clues on the way back.
Pick up clues on the way back, which will reduce your time. And the next event we're doing in early April, we've got another twist in there.
Yes.
So to make it a little bit harder.
Oh, I see. That sounds
great fun. Absolutely great fun.
Well, I think you're doing a magnificent job of work. And
thank you.
All I can say is big things to remember. Number 1 is the dip on Christmas Day. Number 2 is the thing tomorrow, 6:30. Light up a life, I think. Take your thing up to commemorate one of your loved ones. Thank you very much for coming, Emily.
Pleasure.
Lovely having you with us.
Thank you for having me.
Look forward to these things, these events. Do help if you can. Thank you for looking. God bless you all.